One. Sam and Michael.
Part of it, I was kind of tired and fell asleep a little while, and then I had to do stuff afterwards. And...
Sure. Yeah. No. Were you up exceedingly early on Friday? You were up pretty early again today. You having trouble sleeping, or just waking up early?
Combination.
Yeah. I have in the past. I've had trouble with waking up too early. That is usually when I am kind of stressed. Actually, not so bad. I've kind of adjusted my cycle now, so I don't try and get up. I don't know. Although I didn't get as much sleep as I would like last night. Sleep. But here we are. It's Michael. Website 1. So yeah, I had thought that Matt Lindsay was regularly available from like in this hour chunk, which is why I was like, oh hey Matt, and then he's like, anyway. So I got to work out what's happening with his schedule. I have the suspicion that that he needs some guidance. Anyway, let me take a layer off. Okay.
Make sure my thing is muted.
What's muted?
I said I want to make sure that my alarm's muted. Not the alarm, the
Thanks.
beep.
Cool. So I was blogging about the refactoring we were doing on Friday. And also, you gave me some very interesting feedback as well. Yeah, definitely want to keep thinking about that. I guess we should just push on with where we left off from on Friday.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so I think it's your turn to drive. Do you want to pull out that branch and see if it's all working on your side?
See where the hell I'm at. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong thing. Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think you didn't do any more. That stopped, right?
No, I was kind of in a holding pattern, and I ended up just reviewing other people's PRs on different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the main thing I was thinking over the weekend was I was thinking like, oh, we've got all of this existing kind of like domain modeling going on in Stripe. Should we be like leaning more heavily on them? Are we trying to like, I don't know, maybe this is even not related. Are we pre-optimizing it by trying to recreate all that stuff? And then I thought this morning like, oh, actually, well, but like our domain is separate. Like our concept of subscription, right? Stripe has a concept of subscription, but then so does PayPal, and so we need kind of our own domain model.
Up to date, and then I'll just click off cubes. So I think we were. Let me go Control X at that. So what was the cubes you changed?
Well, I kind of created I didn't change any existing cube. I just added a new file that kind of I think was better named. And
PayPal.
So no, it's called Subscribe Self to Premium feature is the new one. So that should have two failing.
I'm gonna run that.
Yeah. And what I was going to be saying on Friday was, like, we've done this refactoring, and we've got everything else passing, and this one file, I feel like we could almost kind of put in a pull request, which is just the refactoring of changing charges controller to subscription controller, and that's kind of almost separate from.
Why is this
next thing
not running? God. Unable to find CSS card section. Unable to find CSS PayPal section.
Yeah. So that is the expected errors. I guess
it must have a long failure time. All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the failure time. So Matt might join us. So I'm sort of thinking here, like maybe the thing to do is to delete, like in this branch that we're in. Well, I guess actually, or maybe is it cherry pick out the thing? It doesn't really.
Cherry pick out what?
Well, like you know what I'm saying? We've got these two clearly distinct and discrete things, right? One of them is the new feature that we're driving towards here, which is that basically you can get to credit card and PayPal payment through the same page. And then we've got the refactoring, which we've actually completed and could be evaluated standalone.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it is it better to, like, we could just submit a pull request that has just that refactoring in it, and then we build, we take this, we then drive the other thing on top of this. I mean, I guess it's this. I mean, maybe this is the stuff that you hate, which is me agonizing about these things, and you just want to get on code. I'm just thinking about in terms of Raoul reviewing it. Like, if we give him one pull request, which is like just the refactoring, right? Then he can evaluate that on its merits. And then there's a separate pull request which comes afterwards, which needs to be merged afterwards, which is, okay, now this is a separate PayPal and Stripe.
They're in one commit.
They are in one commit at the moment.
Yeah. So we're not aware of a way to break a commit up.
Well, no, we would just manually delete. I mean, that basically, if we just deleted that file, subscribe serve to premium feature, then that could be a pull request by itself. And then
and then what would I call this? Is there a ticket for it?
that's what I was just going to look for. So and let's go in here and it's on the website one. Much faster than what refactor. What is this? Charges controller that yeah. So we've got a ticket. It's 1402.
Uh, 1402 dash.
Yeah, refactor charges controller to subscriptions.
So let me open that. Ready. Let's check. So when this gets pulled in, like if we go back now to our PayPal integration, it's going to have the same commits as this right now, but it's going to get squashed when this is pulled in. When this is pulled in to develop, it's going to get squashed, which means we'll need to rebase, right?
Depending upon conflicts. I mean, I think the thing to do there, I guess, right, and you did that second commit. I mean, yeah, that's the other thing there is, like, does doing this, like, as two PRs end up making it like a complicated rebasing thing? But I'm not sure that it does. I mean, I think it will depend. It'll be a function of the files that we make changes to.
Oh wow, something's failing. Code climate's failing.
Oh, that's interesting. What's the?
Useless private access modifier.
Oh, I think that's close. That's maybe we just have private in there twice. I've seen that before.
Oh, you have huh.
Oh, it looks like okay. So I think that's actually ignorable because what we've got is we've got like a little custom class in there called plan, which maybe that shouldn't be a struct, but I think it's kind of detecting that as like there shouldn't be two privates, but I think that's code climate failing to take into account that we happen to have two classes in that single file.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I think that could be put to one side. And so we could carry on working on the thing. I mean, let's why don't we move forward like this? And we'll, like if this causes a message rebasing emoji conflict, what have you, then that'll be a good learning that my heuristic of trying to split these things up is actually being counterproductive. Maybe that pushes back on how Git works. But anyway, so then we can like drive from these failing queues, can't we? And for, if you want to reset the timeout thing so that it doesn't take quite so long, then be my guest.
Queues back.
Right.
So
I can give you the file if you want, or you just bring it.
Right. Well, give me the file.
Mm-hmm. Or if you click,
it's gonna have a bunch of pluses in it.
Yeah. I've got the file.
I guess if I click through to it.
Yeah, I can give it to you in Slack.
I like it.
Pretty fast.
Oh, view, if I view it.
In Slack, if you want.
Copy. And then this is called subscribe self to premium feature.
Right.
And this is under the premium folder. Subscribe self to premium feature.
Mm-hmm.
Add. Paste that in. There you go.
Do you want to adjust the timeout so that it doesn't take so long? Open the support folder there in Capybara. And it's it's a 5. I think it might be. So really, it's only 5? Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why it took so long that time.
Maybe it was just something else. Processing multiple things.
Yeah, it's going a lot faster now.
Okay.
Maybe I hadn't fully woken up because I just started.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is driving us towards changing a template, right?
Yes. So the idea, I guess, being that the what is it called?
Use subscriptions.
So the subscription controller, and subscription controller, it comes in through new, and that renders a plan name template. And it defaults to the premium. So premium HTML.ERV.
So in here, it should be basically there should be like a section.
Yeah, at the very minimum, a div around that script element. So the whole thing is in a form tag, but actually, most of the article thing doesn't actually need to be inside the form tag, does it?
So, and we'll call that card.
So give it an ID of card underscore section.
Like that.
Right.
Probably just run that one test. Unable to find link or button, subscribe.
Okay. So now we've got it. Yeah. So like, I think we're talking about wanting to change the button here. Like, you know, we were going to have them both say subscribe, and we'd have the, you know, sign me up for premium is kind of would be moved out.
So it's a
just say subscribe there.
That. Right.
Yes, yes, yes.
Let me see what it does. It's gonna do something. I wonder.
I think it's uppercase, lowercase. At the moment, I guess it's clicking. It's trying to click lowercase subscribe, but I guess it could be.
Might work. Nope.
I think we probably want to change the test there so that the both of them they're because I think the PayPal button by default has an uppercase S on it as well. So also on line 16.
Cannot find link or button. So do I need to enable JavaScript here?
Probably.
Like for that scenario?
Yeah.
It's a script tag, right? So it's
yeah, it's not gonna JavaScript.
Something's happening, maybe, maybe not. Unable to find a field email. Oh, we're going into that again. So,
okay. What we probably need is the if you look at some of the related features. So, like for a charge activity feature, we're going to need this stripe underscore JavaScript tag to support them. It's the, you know, not VCR and Puffing Billy, but to give us the mocks.
that stripe underscore JavaScript.
That's the one, yeah. And I think we might want to have it before the JavaScript thing. I think there may be an order dependency there that we. Anyway, I mean.
And that's with the new Stripe Ruby.
That's the new Ruby mock thing, yeah.
Instead of using Puffing Billy.
Right.
Oh, I saw you ask Stripe for sponsorship, and they were like, "We can't help you at this time."
That's right.
Saw it in an email. Undefined local variable or method. New charge path.
So that seems like that's the old stuff. I thought we'd removed all of that. If you go back to the template, we haven't got any mention of charge. Oh, or is it in the step?
Saying on line 37 in the controller. Right here. There's an error.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we've got actually so interesting. So is that actually something that we've failed to write? So that presumably is something that wasn't exercised as part of the existing test thing. This is like a hangover from the refactoring. So that should be new underscore subscription underscore path, right?
Okay. Like that, right?
Right.
So why are we erroring out, though?
Well, we'll find out. We could also be arguing that we should be making that change in the existing PR and adding some kind of sad path, because our existing. I just lost your screen share for some reason.
What?
I just lost your screen share.
Okay. See my screen?
No. I'll just come in and out again. It's got the arrow saying it should be sharing, but I'll drop in and out.
Hi, Matthew.
Oh, hi. Quick question.
Go on,
are you doing PayPal or are you doing something with Stripe?
Well, we're doing kind of both.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No problem.
Okay. So the ticket was for PayPal, right?
Yeah, but the ticket is to integrate PayPal into the Stripe thing, or like
integrate them together.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Matt, can you see Michael's screen, by the way?
No, I can't see it either.
No.
All right, I'll restart.
Thanks. Yeah, so Matt, I was confused. I was thinking that you had like that time that I guess it's 7 a.m. your time, that you had kind of like an hour. I thought you were setting the your pairing sessions to be that time because that was a good time for you, but it sounds like
it is except Thursdays and today, only today.
Okay.
You see my screen goes?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So no such plan, it's saying. Oh, that's because there's nothing in the fixtures, right?
Very possibly.
Like in this feature.
Yeah. We need to have the following plans exist. So yeah, if you look at the start of the charge activity, there's like a background step with the following plans exist.
So we need at least that, right? Yeah, I think we never actually properly tested that.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a few sad paths. But, that's interesting. What's that?
So it says my member page to show premium details is unimplemented.
Oh, I thought I was looking at some different.
So it should say. So how do I do
to have contents
premium, right?
You could start with that. It'll probably need to be something tighter in the long run.
We know what it actually looks like.
Do you know what? Sorry, that your audio distorted there. Say again.
I said, do we know offhand? Let me look at the members page. What Michael, inspect this. What is this actually? So it's in a div class user summary.
You're talking about a thing being appending there, but we're getting a separate.
It passed. This was pending. There's two things running. Sorry, there's two features running. The first one.
Should we focus on one of them?
Yeah, the one passed now.
Oh, the first one's passing, and the second one is not.
It's blowing up on something. So if we want to get a tighter test for the first one, what should we do?
Well, so what it needs to do is it needs to actually navigate to the member page and check for the presence of the like if we look, I think at the upgrade membership
no.
feature.
Go on.
If we look at the upgrade membership feature, a different feature file, right. I think we've got like a. Have we got things that like, yeah, we should, like, I should see premium member on that page. So I think we can just do. It's like, yeah, for the person we want to do, like, you know, whatever is the mechanism to visit the currently logged in users homepage. Well, I guess what we've got here as well is like.
Oh, can Michael share his screen?
Yeah, I can see Michael's screen at the moment. Can you not, Matt?
No, I'm looking at yours, I think.
Well, you may need to reload the Hangout possibly to see Michael's page. I guess we get to.
Sorry. Okay.
So,
well, I guess we've got an issue here that I've kind of we haven't added any like logging in as a particular user, and I've added this last step, which is that my member page should show the premium details.
Yeah. So we're still in a situation where someone can just sign up without having an associated account.
We are at the moment. Yeah, I mean, in order to focus on what we're currently doing, you could comment out lines 17 and 24 just for the moment, so that we can stay focused on like the key thing here, which is the PayPal and Stripe integration.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's passing the first one, so now it's just
okay. Yeah.
We'll run that. See where that. If it's blowing up, undefined method create. It's getting a nil class, so
it's actually in one of the steps. Is that in one of the steps?
See, what is it? Line 7.
Given the following plans exist.
That's blowing up, really?
Blowing up in one case, another. Oh, is that because it's probably the we need to set the Stripe JavaScript and Stripe for both. I would just have them set for the like at the top of the feature level.
I mean, not sure why that would matter, but
I think it's because part of the given the following plans exist is doing stuff to like it interacts with the mock.
Oh, it's interacting with the Stripe.
Yeah.
Mock gem.
Yeah.
To make it think that something exists.
Yeah, that basically actually so like creating those plans, because we don't actually have the plans persisted as an active record model yet. But in order for the Stripe mock to pretend like those plans do exist, we have to tell them, we have to like that thing under the hood. It says to the Stripe mock, hey, this is the, pretend like you're a Stripe API that has these model plans stored in your database.
Subscribe self to premium.feature. So unable to find CSS, which is what we'd expect.
Right.
So at this point, we can add another div. What?
I was just expelling some air. Didn't say anything.
I thought you were disapproving.
Oh no. That's well, I think that's maybe one of our problems is that you perceive me as disapproving more than perhaps I do, or do I intend to? But do I really know what I disapprove of? No. I think I was. You're doing exactly the right thing, and I was doing a suppressed belch.
All right, so where the hell?
But then it's not. It won't find a subscribe button, right? You're going to look for the PayPal subscribe button and stick it in that section.
Yeah, I need to find that. Search and PayPal.
I think that if you go to views subscriptions, there's like a PayPal view.
Is there?
Yeah.
True.
So I think you just want that form.
I think all these steps are not implemented, right? This should be redirected. Is this
Yeah, well, I think
implemented?
this is kind of like the key thing that we come up against here with this issue that we've encountered before, where Capybara doesn't seem to want to let us to easily check what page we're being read. Well, maybe it's my imagination that that's happening, but I guess let's sort of see if we can get it to actually click the subscribe button.
I mean, are we trying to do like a proper full integration test for PayPal? We're trying to do that right now.
Well, I think the key thing we're trying to do is get them in the same page.
So that's not saying subscribe.
Yeah. Shall we go and just like run the server and look at the page and see what it looks like at the moment?
Else. Give it a few seconds. Really? Pending migration issues. Migrate. Give it a few seconds.
No worries. In the background, I'm investigating failings with our open PR.
I mean, there's two buttons.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, and one is, and yeah, that's not bad, is it? But so if you go back to the, which one did you click on there?
The PayPal.
Okay. But if you inspect elements on the PayPal, do we not have a subscribe? What, is there no text for it to? I guess we could also be. I think we are. What do we end up?
Literally signed up for 2 plans.
Well, if you clicked through, but lost your screen share again for some reason.
That's weird. I don't understand. So, I mean, I don't have PayPal. Like, I'm not logged into PayPal.
No, sure.
Sometimes I am because I use it.
Mm.
And for some reason, it just said, okay. There must be something wrong with the logic.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't even take me to PayPal's page. Which I would have expected it to.
Yes.
Or is this what is going on?
Well, I thought that like in the first instance, it's saying, well, we've got one thing, which is that the test is saying it can't find the subscribe thing to click on, right?
Right, which it's there.
Well, it's there, but I think it's like pulling in an image. So I was going to like do an inspect on that subscribe thing to find out like exactly how is it being represented in the browser there. So it's got like a name called submit. I wonder if the name is like I would almost be tempted to change the name to, so I guess I'd call it submit there.
Wrong one.
Now that.
Because that brings expect, but this
Yeah, I would have thought that that would take you to a
A
PayPal.
PayPal login, right?
I think what it is, I think the problem is that what we have a form nested inside a form. Is what's happening there. So if we go back to the view, as I mentioned, I think that form tag on line 1 should probably come. Actually, we could sort of move that down so that it's in between lines 24 and 25.
Oh, I see. Like this, right?
Right. Right.
And why is that? Why is that not? So I do what to straighten it out?
I think you can do Option Command L. And I'm suddenly getting a little echo.
Okay.
I will come in and out again. I'm back. And there is only a slight echo. No, echo gone. Echo gone. Okay.
Unable to find link or button. Submit still is an issue.
Okay. So it's trying to look in the PayPal section. Yeah, and I guess we've got input type image and the name is submit. So it's, I guess basically it may just not be that link or button. It is neither a button nor a link. We've actually got an image. Why does clicking on the image actually cause that to be submitted? I guess it's got name submit. Type image. I guess we've got a question there about I mean, you could look through on the step and see under the hood what actual bit of capybara is there. Is it kind of doing?
It does. Yes.
It's annoying, isn't it? Because if we use that within thing, then it's difficult to jump into the actual element because it jumps in. Actually, I think if you go back to the feature and you put the mouse cursor on the, so I click rather than on the within. So at the moment your mouse cursor is in between the W and I on within. If you put the mouse cursor like we have there, for example, and now do the Command B.
Do Command B.
Command B. Oh, it still jumps there. Yeah, I think you would have to remove the within thing to jump through to the I click thing. I think that the RubyMine support there is failing to get us into the right place. I think you won't be able to jump to it unless you comment out the. If you put a comment in between the submit and the within on line 21. Do like a hash or the pound symbol.
Trying.
Yeah, and then now, if you put the mouse on the I click submit and do the Command B. Oh, really? Because it can't find. That's odd.
It's not defined.
Well, so the click submit, I think, is in the basic steps.
Right. It's executing that step within. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's oh, I forgot. Right, but that step should also exist, and we should be able to find the precise. I mean, I can see on lines 106 and 110 of the basic steps. It's got like I click something button and I click the link, and I wanted to create a new one for the just because I think there's like I click. I think what it's going to is click link or button.
Yeah.
When I click the image.
Here it is, right here, 74.
Right. Yeah. So that's the one there. So click, link, or button is presumably excluding images there. And I would be almost tempted to kind of like say, is there a better click, link, or button or image or whatever for capybara? Matt, you were saying click, image.
Create a new step.
Well, we could create a new step, or we could like say, like, I think when the higher level Cucumber is saying, click this, right? From the perspective of the person driving it, they don't care if it's a, you know, it's just a thing to click, right?
Yeah, it looks a little bit like an image.
Yeah, and I think it is an image. It is an image.
Yeah.
But we don't necessarily, if we could avoid it, it would be nice to avoid a custom step, although from what I'm seeing on Stack Overflow, it looks like it's like we have to find the element and then explicitly call click on it.
You have to find where the name equals submit.
Right. That's the example I'm looking at here. I mean, what we did in the previous test was we kind of satisfied by saying, let's just check for the presence of the correct form to be there.
I mean, what are you saying now?
Well, I'm saying, like, if we look at the PayPal feature, like,
yeah,
we were up against this exact same issue before, and I think what we satisfied with, or we like, so within PayPal.feature, instead of trying to click it, and with this idea that it was difficult to check the actual redirect.
What are we at? Yeah. But are we trying to confront that now, or what?
Well, I think we've got an option to do that. I think let's at least look at the PayPal.feature.
PayPal.feature.
And so, yeah, we've got this step that we created that then I should see a PayPal form.
I mean, I could just say then I should see a PayPal form.
Yeah, I think we could, like, because in some ways here, I think that more importantly than testing whether this redirect works in the right way, because I think we're fairly clear that it's of the first order it does, then
I should see a PayPal form within
the PayPal section, and then we can lose the next two lines. I think well, we kind of want that, right? Well, we want 24, but I guess there's not a clear way at the moment.
You're not going to be able to do that, right? Because you're not actually doing anything. You're just
no. But I guess what we're going to be doing is setting on this button so that there's some redirect endpoint that we come back to, and ultimately we're going to be checking that PayPal endpoint hits that thing. So, well, I would delete lines 22 and 23, but comment out line 24.
Like in this pull request, we're going to do that.
Well, I think we need to like get this stuff working, and then we will reflect on, you know, where, you know, how much we'll try and do in this PR.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what is going on? Past.
Yeah. Okay. Because I guess they're
both passing. So is there something failing elsewhere, or
there? Interestingly, yeah, there's usually something failing on CI that I am not having fail locally.
You're not locally reproducing.
I wasn't able to. I mean, I just ran I pulled out the
random.
Yeah, I did rerun it once.
I
got 2 failures the first time around, then I got 1 failure the second time around. So it may just be like ongoing weirdness.
So do we want to fix up old PR?
Well, I think we can keep an eye on the old PR in the background to find out. I mean, the one thing you could do is, well, I've got it, and that's, I'm just trying to test it, find out if there's actually a consistent failure there. What I would say is in the
So I'm getting a rec cache fixture for checkout Stripe. A new one. Should we be getting that? I guess we shouldn't, right? Because that's probably from.
Well, that may be from a
when
test failure on something else.
I didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me rerun that whole cuke. See if it pops back up.
Yeah.
I think it's why I didn't have the @script, that JavaScript.
Maybe if it was just @JavaScript and not I think it was probably from when you had if you have the only @JavaScript, that automatically pulls in Puppy and Billy.
I had just that in the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But so I'd say like the kind of, in some ways, the critical thing in this PR that we're in is what we've done, driven by the test. We've moved that, PayPal thing into that page. We've actually kind of adjusted the typography on the page in terms of, whereas before the Stripe button said, sign up for Premium Plus or whatever it was, I think we should look at that page now. And like, I think other people are probably not necessarily going to realize the difference between these two subscribe buttons. Like, what we probably want is now to style the divs so that we have one saying, pay by credit card, and one saying pay by PayPal. Over the weekend on Wikipedia, saw them. Oh, it's gone away. Where's their donate to Wikipedia thing gone? But they had a, contributions. Funny, like some. But they had a very nice form. Of course, now it's not there. But anyway, so for example, here, look, they've got ways to give, and then they've got credit card, debit card, PayPal. I guess they've got a page. They had a much nicer sort of built-in form. Wikipedia. They seem to have finished their campaign that was running over the weekend. Every time I was going there. But either way, whatever Wikipedia's page looked like, I feel like the way to go is to try and put the buttons side by side in their own space, right, and then have like a little.
So we can do that.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is. Here we go. This is exactly the thing I wanted to show.
Right. Sure. We can't change the text, really, unfortunately, but
no. Well, although, yeah, which I'm not suggesting that we do, but we could put the PayPal logo above it, or whatever we want to do. I noticed with this one is that when you click PayPal, it takes you through and then asks for the amount, and there's a whole separate flow there. But let's not worry about that.
That's because it's a donation. But yeah.
No, but it's the amount set. You stay on the Wikipedia site. It doesn't yet take you to the. They may have done a much more that. I think in principle we can do use the PayPal API, and then have it look however we want. But that's probably not something we should take on right this second. But so should we? Do you want to swap, or you want to do the CSS work?
I'll do the CSS too.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you object.
No, go for it. Get in the view.
All right, so let's go to the premium view. So right, subscription path. So can we put these two? How do you want to control the layout, like the actual side by side?
I would be tempted to do it with the bootstrap that we have in there. So like create rows and columns.
I'm trying to do that. Bootstrap rows and columns. Right.
If we look at the layouts page application, Yeah, so there's, I think, example.
On what?
So, for example, if we
You
go to
drop-
application.html.erb in the layouts,
Okay. Let me
we can
go to
see.
that. Yeah.
So, for there's a like, we can set this class column LG9.
There has to be an include. Yeah.
Yeah, like
There's an
there.
include. Like this?
Yeah, well, I think we can. We've got two divs.
Right, and just put a class on them.
Class on them and give them a certain number of lines.
So what? It adds up to 9, right?
I guess so.
The total adds up to 12. So if we put them 6 each, that'll maybe. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, just see what happens in the first instance.
See what that even looks like. Okay. Doesn't look that horrible. It doesn't look that great, but
it's a start.
We can put
yeah, just put some text in above it.
So that, for some reason, made that click over to the right for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. So why is that? Oh, I see why. I know why. Duh. Put it inside the div. Credit card, debit card via Stripe.
Would it make sense to be consistent in the? That's cool. Like if you go back to the template, in one case we've got the form outside the div, and in the other case we've got the form inside the div.
Like this, right?
Yeah, we'll put it after the div. And then we want that. Sure. And then the end thing to be inside the div. Like line 39 should be before line 37.
And what do you want?
That the last two lines should be swapped around.
So they're both left aligned.
Mm-hmm.
That makes the text look a little funky. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So can we center these somehow?
Yeah,
both
in principle. I mean, I would be tempted to put some white space between the pay with PayPal and the credit, like the things.
Which white space?
Just that it feels to me like the like, for example, credit debit is like really right on top of the button. So I mean, like I would just put like after the span, and I'd put like a BR tag. I mean, I know we're not supposed to use those, but just.
Yeah, that's evil, right?
Apparently. But
it is evil.
It's really simple, and I love it.
Right, but it doesn't have. That didn't work anyway.
Okay, there you go.
Didn't work. Not sure why that didn't work. BR / right?
Yeah.
Oh, and then
Because it strips it off.
it just said no. What are you saying?
A P?
A P?
A paragraph
A
tag
paragraph?
as also.
Well, maybe that's not good. Not great either.
I mean, I think that probably the less evil thing is the style, the span, like
Style equals what is it called? Margin?
It's padding and margin.
See if that even works. No. So style equals margin. I feel like I've forgotten something about how to style divs inline.
Border? I don't know. I'm just guessing.
No, I think also you got right, margin. You got your 4 items. 0 is bottom. I think you need that to be like 10 0 0 0 rather than 0 0 10 is that's margin. You get added margin right.
I think it starts at the top and goes to the right.
Not according to the Mozilla Foundation thing that I'm looking at. But although they have it in the order starting with the bottom, but maybe I'm wrong.
So let's see. Can you even style a div with that, or is it just reject it?
Well, you could try adding the element style there in place in the Chrome thing. Oh, no, I think you're right. You're right. It is top right and then bottom. Oh, it probably needs to be PX. You probably need to have a number of pixels rather than just a number. I think you're right about it being the third one.
So what do I need?
Well, the example that I'm looking at here is like a PX directly. Yeah, and yeah, that's that.
Right. So that pushed it off a little bit. So if we go, I don't know, 20 pixels. See, the problem is like the different screens now and all that.
Oh yeah.
How it looks. That's why this is evil.
Yeah.
50 pixels. That's going to create a lot of space. Maybe. Doesn't feel like it's creating any space there anymore. No, it's not creating any space.
Well, it looks like it's not being. You're doing it. You're looking at the PayPal one, and it's trying to do it on the Stripe one. So that there, it's at least got
nothing showing up there. There's nothing to indicate that that has
made any difference. But at least we're seeing that the margin there is specified. But so what you could do is you could click on the right hand side of your screen there. You've got a style editing thing, and so I think if you click in there, you can just edit that and make it whatever you. I mean, I would do it like 50 pixels all the way around. Like that's given us the. That's given us like indent there on the left hand side.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have put margin above and below. For some reason.
It may be the way in which the form is existing in the div, the button is existing in the div is. I mean, you can do margin hyphen bottom.
Margin hyphen bottom, like that.
Indeed, that's right.
Doesn't
why not try padding instead of margin?
Padding bottom.
Interesting.
Doesn't like
it. No. Well, I would say.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's a padding there, but it doesn't respect
Oh,
it.
okay. It's not pushing the subscribe button away. Interesting.
The whole form is kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules are on that. Why is
Well,
span? What is span? Is that just because that's not a?
Yeah, I think if you replace the
Block.
span with a div, would be there's like a series of things about like by default span tends to get crunched up, and by default div is going to push stuff away. So maybe just changing it from a span to a div. Will,
The span is not a block element, right?
Right. I mean, I think you can style a span so that it turns into that, use the same thing as a div.
All right, whatever. There, that seemed to have worked.
Okay.
So if we do margin dash bottom 20 pixels, sorry. What do you think? 15?
Sure.
You don't really care?
15 or 20, it all sounds reasonable.
Okay. Let's see. All right. All right. So 15. And then I would just say, in terms of the text, like it's not. I think it would look better if they were centered in some way.
Sure. Well, I
This
think why don't you push it up? Just get it in the. I mean, I'm going to need to break for lunch. I think the centering might make it look good. I'm sort of thinking that if it actually had, if it was kind of italicized in a different font and had like a little outline around it, like a border 1 or something. That, I mean, there are things to make it look nice, but it's kind of aesthetic. So I think probably, it would. Well, I'm tempted to say, well, Michael and Matt, you feel free to continue working on the aesthetics of it if you wanted. I thought I might just take a moment to ask Matt. Should we just check in? Because Matt, I guess you're going to have to go off for your thing. Should we just check in on, like, if there was any blocks for you?
Yeah, the only thing I'm really blocked on, but I can work on something else, is the refactoring the Twitter.
Yeah, basically check to see if a video is present when tweeting about it. And
I mean, I had some ideas, but it's kind of spaghetti right now. And
yeah. But so I think the key thing I wanted to say here was, in terms of refactoring, I'm not thinking like, oh, like refactor away all of the bad stuff. It was like, just like, because there's a lot of bad stuff. So it's kind of, if we're doing any refactoring, I think we want to kind of just do like a tiny little bit at a time. Like, you had these questions about this stuff, right? Like, why are we?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's either all or nothing, though, kind of, because it's.
Well, I kind of disagree strongly with that. In say that, I think it's just the thing that I thought we were talking about last week is this Twitter service tweets YT link, right? Instead, it can be doing all of this logic that is here, like specifically the stuff that's been added as part of this. Like, there's no need to be like dealing with.
Yeah, that can be inside a tweet YT link, right?
Right, but yeah, and the warning sign for me was that in the Scrum, you said, oh, there's all this stuff to do with the Slack thing, and yeah, there is, but that's kind of that's like a totally separate to this.
Okay, yeah, but even treating that separate, just pulling that stuff in, it's not quite as easy as it looks. it kind of has to be rewritten. The Twitter service piece.
Yes. Right, but what I'm saying is that doesn't require us to rewrite any of the Slack service, does it?
No. I'll take that. I take that back then.
Right. But so I mean, and the key thing is just that these checks could be being done inside the Twitter service.
Yeah, but there's a lot more that we're not even seeing that looks bad with the Twitter service too.
Okay, right. But yeah, I mean, I think the key thing there is about refactoring feature creep, so to speak. Like if we look at the Twitter service.
Yeah, if you just look at the actual file.
Sure. Right. We don't have to fix everything that's in there, right? I mean, there's all sorts of, but we've got this, tweet YT link going on here. So this checking for the video thing, could be like just happening here, right? And they can be methods on this, right? I think you may well see other parts of this Twitter service that look bad, but at least it's much shorter than the controller, so to speak. But so
okay, I can do that then.
Yeah, what were you thinking? Was there something
the video ID to that tweet YT link?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's setting that elsewhere, so that's kind of where I was getting. Well, maybe that should be passed into the initializer. But if you only do a little bit of refactoring.
Yeah. Well, and I guess the key thing is not necessarily so much. I mean, like. Yeah. I mean, maybe this is something that we would want to look at together. Because I guess he hasn't got any. He hasn't got any cucumbers, any cukes in here. We've got.
No, he's got something.
No, and then it's just. That's like a correction. Oh, there's tweeting live events. Okay.
Right there, but he hasn't finished them.
So we've got event going live causes tweet of Hangout link to be sent. Event stream going live causes tweet of YouTube. Right. And I think what this is that I did this in a pairing session with Sasha, and he didn't have any cuke. And I wrote this out, and this is a description of what the thing currently does.
Right. And the steps aren't implemented.
Right. Because we were just, I was sort of doing it as an exercise with him to say, look, when we're working on anything, right, we get ourselves in a mess if we don't know what the system's currently doing. So we even if we aren't changing the cukes, we need to work out the relevant feature file that's sort of telling us. And what we discovered was for this functionality in the system, there was no high-level description of what should be happening. So then we rewrote this, and then what we've got here in the wings is actually this is the functionality that we would like to have. So probably more than the refactoring, the way in on this is to, actually put in fill out the cuke so that these things are exercising and checking the existing functionality and then filling out this one and switching it over. I mean, almost we could break this up into, to make it simpler, just, what I'm saying? Like, rather than trying to add the feature that's missing for the existing functionality, refactor that, and then also do the new functionality and then refactor, is that actually this, breaking this down, if I were you almost, Matt, what I would say was a way into this is to break it down and say the first task here is to take this as an outline and make it pass with the existing system. So fill out the appropriate steps. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, and I'll try, but I'm not sure how I even check if a YouTube stream has gone.
Sure. Well, that's the kind of thing.
I mean, I'll have to research it.
Yeah. Well, maybe Michael might be interested to pair with you on that for the next, while I'm doing lunch.
Yeah, I've actually got the steps in the step file. They're just blank.
Yeah, I mean, I can try. I don't think we've ever touched that side of the system very much, but
no. Well, and it's sort of, it's a kind of, I guess, approach it with, it's no biggie if it ends up not working. I mean, what you guys might prefer to work on for a bit is like the aesthetics of this CSS thing. in the background, I'm still, we're getting this intermittent failure on one of these, the user changes card details. I guess that I have not been able to replicate locally. I will tell it to rebuild again. Yeah, so I think I'm going to go to lunch. Anyway, even if you don't decide to a perfectly reasonable response to the now I've lost the, where's it gone? Is it here? A perfectly reasonable response to this is, this is kind of too messy or more messy than you want to work on. So, don't feel like you are in any way committed to taking on this thing, because there's kind of quite a conceptual thing. But I think for you, or for anyone who was wanting to take it on, I think what I've just described, like going in through that, trying to make that cucumber test work, would be the way to approach it, if that makes sense.
Well, then, yeah, if we do that, then would you accept it, or would you want it?
Yeah, that could be a standalone PR by itself,
Okay,
like,
and then
without any new functionality. It would be exactly what Michael and I started off doing today, which was that we realized we'd kind of done a refactoring and then we had a new feature, and we broke that refactoring out to be a single PR, which can be accepted separately. But so yeah, there could, I mean, I could create a ticket for that right now, which would be, it's like, there's like, let's add an issue there, which is like add acceptance tests for tweeting YouTube.
But I'm already working on his branch.
Yeah. Well, and the interesting thing is, though, like to an extent, we may want to put that branch aside here, right? Because he's added the complexity of all this new stuff, right? And we have some
question. Re-implement it the right way, then.
but even before that is like, just what I'm like, even before we worry about adding the new feature that he was working on, it's like, let's get the existing tests covered.
Oh, okay.
So this is a feature. So this is kind of like, we're in this. This is like, you did the CS169 course, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is exactly the kind of legacy situation management. So we've got some functionality in the legacy system that we would like to change. Sorry, go on, Michael.
Yeah. Characterization tests.
Right, exactly.
Characterize the current system, how it works.
Right. So that this is, as Michael says, this is like a situation where, if we're trying to modify behavior that we don't have any tests for, particularly if we don't have any feature tests for, then it's kind of like, ooh, what's going to happen here? Who knows? So I guess we can even like take a vote on this if people wanted to, but leave that up to you. I'm going to go have lunch. But so, yeah, there's a simple task here of creating the characterization test that correctly characterizes how the current legacy system is working, and we can see that as groundwork to be done and sort of merged in before work starts on the feature, and we can see Sash's attempt as a kind of spike, right, okay, in that area, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Cool. All right, well, I'll leave it up to you guys if you want to create another Hangout and, as I say, work on the CSS, have a play with this, whatever takes your fancy.
All right, sounds good.
All right, okay. I'll be back in about an hour or so.
Yeah, we'll just start for a second. Can we hang out here, or do we?
You can sure hang out here. Yep.
I'll just hang out here if you want.
Be my guest. Bye for now.
Bye. So, do you want to do anything, Michael, or do you want to just? Are you tired out?
We can do stuff if you want. What do you want to do?
Well, there's some setup just to do for the other one, but I guess that would be pretty quick to create a new branch and get those new cucumber tests defined. And
do you want to drive?
Yeah, do you want me to? I can do that. Sure.
You can share your screen.
Okay, yeah, you can relax a bit. I'm on his branch, but we don't want to work on that anymore. Let me stash that because that's got the steps in. Check out. Oh. Oh, I need this new 1442, I think. Yeah, 1442.
Yeah, 1442.
Add
Tests for tweeting YouTube or characterization tests for tweeting YouTube.
okay.
Whatever.
Add YouTube tests. Let's see. I want that file. I can just do git stash pop, right?
Yeah.
Over store, yeah, because that's got 2 steps we need. But the other, these are the other ones he wants.
I believe so.
I just copy them from here, or they should I take them
Let me see.
somewhere else?
Do we have any tests for YouTube at all? I guess we don't, right?
Let me see.
Check out, check out, develop, get, full develop. Oop.
Hangouts, but this is this kind of similar to Hangouts?
It's so. Let me actually read this. We're better on GitHub. I just want to read this card.
Oh yeah.
You might want to rename the branch to actually to tweeting YouTube links, but yeah. So it's about the Twitter service and like tweeting out those links. And I don't think we do that. I don't think we have a test for that.
Oh yeah, it's Twitter more like.
Find and path Twitter. No, we don't.